welcome to the Witches and Prose podcast. My name is Haley Camarillo, author of Fury and Flame, book one of the Witching Hour series, which will be out this fall. I have today with me the lovely aspiring author, M Sötemann. How are you today? Thank you for coming on.
I'm good. It's early for me, but that's fine.
Okay.
I usually just lay in bed at this time and read for like an hour and a half, but it's cool.
That sounds so nice.
I'm sure you cannot relate.
No, I cannot. But that sounds much preferable. So thank you for being on with me today.
Oh, you're welcome.
So can you write fantasy. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about the series that you're working on? Because I know the readers don't know and the watchers don't know, but you have a lot of books under your belt.
I have a lot of books going on. Well, I have like a main series I'm working on, which is kind of tentatively called like the Honorians, and it's going to span like 6 books, 3 of which are about like mortals and 3 of which are about gods. But that's kind of on the back burner right now. Currently, I'm revising a book called The Children of O'Her, which takes place in the same universe, but it takes place like 1,000 or so years before the Honorians does. And so it takes place in the future after a plague known to the humans as the Melting Death. And it follows Cora Lynn, who is kidnapped by an extremist religious group called the Children of O'Her and is forced to marry a stranger, Asher Sani. Soon she finds out that Asher is actually in love with his best friend and has no more interest in being married than she does. And though she doesn't have any intentions of making friends, Cora has to accept the help of her new husband, his secret boyfriend, and his secret boyfriend's wife, if she's gonna stand any chance of escaping this cult that she's found herself in. And it deals with like grief, loss, love, finding friendship among unexpected people, working through toxic beliefs, and what people are willing to do for those they love, which all of that kind of is things that show up regularly in my writing.
I love that, though. That sounds so much fun. I mean, I've had the pleasure of getting to read through some of it already, and it's so awesome. I absolutely love Cora. I love I love all of them, honestly. Cora, Harp, Asher, Shay, Kale.
Yes, Kale.
Kale is my favorite.
Kale. We all love Kale. It's fine.
He's amazing.
He's definitely not the favorite side character, except that he is.
Right? He was, yes, so amazing. So yes. What inspired Children of O'Her?
Okay, so I had a dream, which doesn't happen very often that things are inspired by dreams, but in this case, I had a dream where, I don't know if it was I was being forced to marry a man or I was watching somebody else being forced to marry somebody that I didn't know. And I knew it was kind of weird and culty because there were like multiple people being forced to marry other people. And then somehow I managed to find out that he was in love with his best friend. And then I like turned to the girl next to me and I was like, this would be a really good idea for a story. And now here we are.
I love that.
So originally it was going to be like a short story. And then that wasn't long enough. So then I was going to make it a novella. And then as I started planning it out and writing it, I was like, oh no, this is a novel. And then now there's going to be a second one. So I don't know how to write short things ever. Sorry.
I don't either. So, but I'd prefer long books over short books any day. So,
same.
So what started you on your writing journey as a whole?
Well, I've been writing stories since I was like a kid. The first one I remember writing was about a girl and her horse, obviously, because I am a crazy horse girl to this day. And so most of my books involve at least some background crazy horse girl, even if it's on accident, like it was in this case. But the names of 2 of the characters were Ariana and Finn, who are the names of the main characters in the Unicorns of Valinor series. So I feel like it started because I read that and I was like, I want to write cool horse stories.
I love that though.
And I wrote that in part of a journal in an airport because we used to go to Holland a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I also read a ton as a kid, and I still do now, but I actually didn't like reading until my mom read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone to me. like before that I struggled a lot, and probably part of that was because like I didn't speak English until I was like 6, and so I didn't
Okay.
learn to read English until I was like 6 or like 7,
Mhm.
and so it was like reading is stupid because I can't do it.
I mean, that's pretty understandable.
Yeah, so while everyone else in first grade was like reading chapter books, I was just sitting on the floor like paging through them like I can't
Oh,
read this. Super duper, this is terrible. So thankfully then my mom started reading Harry Potter to me. And unfortunately, J.K. Rowling kind of ruined that. Um
yeah.
and so like I don't really like talking about Harry Potter anymore because I'm like I don't want to like influence other people to read that when there's so many other better diverse representing books out there, like, but I also can't like negate how important it's been to me, so anyway, that's fine.
Right.
um and then like in high school I took literally like all the English classes I possibly could and wrote stories in notebooks with my friends during and between classes, and we also continued online after school and via text, and that's where like the Honorian series started. So yeah, I've been writing forever.
That is awesome. And then you have a master's in creative writing, don't
I
you?
do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
is
I got that 2 years ago from Lindenwood, and that helped a lot with like giving me like a set schedule, and it's where I wrote like some like side stuff for the Honorians, and um then I decided that I wanted to do like a bunch of myths for the second Honorians book because they're important to the characters. So for my thesis, I wrote like 10, and then I wrote like 10 more later. So yeah, no, that was like I was questioning it at first, and I was like, "Is it really worth it?" But yes, it was for
That's
me.
awesome.
And I know that's not the case for everyone, and it's expensive, and not everybody can afford it. But like, it helped a lot.
That's good. That is
Yeah.
amazing. So okay, romance in your books, especially well, so it's Children of O'Hare is it considered YA or is it adult? It's
No,
adult,
I'm
right?
never writing YA.
Okay.
Everybody's an adult. I mean, Cora's 19, but that's not
Okay.
YA. YA is like 15 to 17, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
probably like new adult
Okay.
technically, but
Yeah.
no, everybody's like 19, 20s. No,
Okay.
yeah, we don't do YA in my life. Not that there's anything wrong with YA. I read a lot of YA, but I'm not like, I don't know, I can't write teenagers. How do
Yeah.
you do that?
I totally understand. Like yeah, I need to do adults. Um so okay, so romance wise in book one, what like spice level, I guess, like you could say, for because it's just pretty much Shay and Asher
Yeah.
that we have romance from.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a sex scene.
Okay.
It's vague. That's how I write. Like I don't ever go into explicit detail or go into like describing specific body parts. Like sorry if you're into that, you're not gonna you're not gonna get it from me. Like there is one, it's there for a reason. I'm not throwing in smut just for the sake of smut ever. Like there's
Yeah.
an important like character reason behind me describing it and stuff, which is how it is with every book. Like
Yeah.
I saw something the other day that was like, oh, sometimes I don't want to read smut because like I'm not in the mood, but then I'm scared if I skip a scene I'm gonna miss something, and I'm like, you will miss things if you skip mine because there's like important like character details or realizations in them or like
Yeah.
feelings related to things that are going on.
Yeah.
So yes, there is generally always romance of some kind. With the exception of the first Honorians book, it's usually a subplot
Okay.
because like that one very clearly started like was inspired by the things I was reading at the time, which was romance novels, and so
Okay.
like the romance is much more forefront, whereas like with the second and the third one it's much more like background. And even with like the Children of O'Hare, like the main plot line is like Cora needs to get out, and then Asher and Shay are background cutesy
Yeah.
whatever. And like I'm planning another book where there is romance in it, but again it's just a subplot.
Okay.
But yes, there's always romance because I love love.
Yes.
And if there is any kind of like sex in it, it's not going to be spicy or smutty.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, honestly, anything that has love in it, like I'm good. It can be as spicy or as tame, as long as there's love in it. I'm all for it.
Romance is the best.
It is. It is. We just need love. So what is your writing process like?
It's developed a lot over the years. Sorry, were you going to ask more?
No.
Okay. So at this point, I'm completely and totally like a plotter. Like with character-driven stories, like everything, like I was telling my boyfriend last night, like everything is very much like character-based. And yes, of course, there's plot, and the plot is important too, but like I focus very heavily on like what's going on with the characters. But I will plot out using Save the Cat beat sheets. And then also using like there's like a character arc book that I have that helps you like sort out like where they're starting, where they're ending, how they get there, what beliefs from their past are like drawing these problematic thoughts that they have and stuff. It's very helpful. So I use that combined with the beat sheets, and then once I have those figured out, then I plot out all of the chapters and give myself very brief explanations of what I think is going to happen. Mind you, things change, of course. Yeah. Like with the Children of Horror, I think I had like 20 chapters planned, and then as I wrote, I was like, oh no, that's not enough, and so I kept adding more. But I always know at least a vague idea of what's going to happen in every chapter. And that's especially important when I have more than one point of view, which is generally what I'm doing. So then I have to figure out what goes where and who fits in what position the most, and like whose point of view is the most important in that moment. So yeah, I plot heavily, and then it takes me like 3 months to write the book, which is what happened with the Children of Horror, which is a far cry from what I was doing when I first wrote the first Sonorians book, which was a hot mess of pantsing disaster I will never do again.
Oh, but I totally get that. It helps a lot. Like since I've become more of a planter, I guess.
Yeah, right, in between.
Yeah, definitely plotting out, like at least for me. I mean, I don't go into as much detail, but yeah, having an idea of where the story's going. I feel
like you at least need to know like the end goal.
Yeah.
Like where are you going? Like, or like the big like main plot points that you or character points that you like, because like the beat sheet, there's a big focus on like the first thing is like the character's lesson that they need to learn, and then like figuring out their want and need is like so vital. Like first thing, what do they want, what do they need, what's stopping them from that at the moment, and are they gonna get both at the end or not, which most of the time, nope. One or the other. Right. Not both. Usually never both. That's no fun.
No, of course not, because we need to make our characters suffer. Those poor characters.
So much anguish.
Right? It's the best. So did you have any struggles with writing Children of Horror?
Not a huge amount with this one. I think it was all like relatively easy, thankfully. I don't remember anything dramatic that was like a big struggle. I mean, every book has its issues, of course, and some days of writing are like easier than others. And I'm sure that there were days where I struggled, or I was just like, man, I'm not feeling this today. I don't want to write. I'm gonna get a page of words down and call it a day. But I guess if anything, figuring out what to do with the antagonist, Oelia, was kind of a struggle, because like she didn't really do much in the first draft, and I was like, man, I need to do more with her. Like I need to figure out what she knows, what she doesn't, what her purpose is, like what is she doing, just letting these kids escape? Which of course that's not what she was doing, and that's not what happened. So like I needed to figure out like her motivations behind everything and make sure that all fits both the end of this book and the next one. But thankfully, like brainstorming with writing buddies and like just figuring that out myself helped a lot. But yeah, no, I think with this one it's all been I don't know. I feel like the second one's gonna be more of a pain because I'm like, man, I don't know what to do with like one of them. Like, I don't know how these characters are gonna get from point A to point B yet, and I.
You're like, yeah, that's a problem for future me.
That's a problem for future me. Yes.
Oh, but okay. So let's see. Okay, who is your favorite character in Children of O'Hare?
My favorite overall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with my sad red-haired boy Shay because that's always my favorite. I love me some sad boys, especially ones with red hair. Apparently, I've learned that recently. He's Asher's secret boyfriend, and they're not allowed to be together because of the divine laws of O'Hare that say so. Because whatever, it's stupid. No, there's actually a good reason behind it. There's like the children of O'Hare can't produce daughters for some unknown reason that I know, of course, but nobody else does. And so that means that they've banned like same-sex relationships until such a time that the daughters' population has risen again. So Shay and Asher can't be together, even though they love each other. So anyway, he's Asher's secret boyfriend who loves puzzles and baking, and he's sweet and insecure and sensitive and terrified of losing Asher, which is why he wants Asher to run away with him.
I love that.
And he's very quiet and like just insecure and just wants everybody to get along so they can get out of there. But really, mostly his focus is Asher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows what he's about, and it's his secret boyfriend.
Sweet Shay.
But there's some really nice scenes that I added with Cora as well, because I was like, man, I need some more friendship going on between people, because Cora and Asher have such like a hostile relationship through most of the book, just because she's angry and doesn't want to be there, and he's the one who she's taking it out on, because he's the one she's been like forced to marry. So yeah, either Shay or the other one would probably be Kale, because he is also a sweet angel who deserves only good things.
He is a sweet angel who only deserves good things. I can attest to that. So, but no, that would be so hard. I feel like choosing a favorite between any of your characters because they're all so good. Yeah. I love them all.
I feel like too, like picking a favorite of your own characters is hard. And it also, for me, depends on like what I'm currently working on.
Yeah.
I do have a favorite overall.
Yes, you can tell us about him.
We all know that Rowan Darrow, crazy horse girl, half human from my Norian series, also a red-haired sad boy, is my favorite overall. But he was like my first like completed book character that so but no, in this one it's also a red-haired sad boy.
I love it though. It's good. Like a trope all of your own. Like
yeah, I've now decided that there's just gonna be a red-haired sad boy in every book. Not like it has so far been on accident, but then I read the Shades of Magic trilogy last month with like buddy read it with my friend, and I was like, oh, the red-haired sad boy is my favorite. Shocking. And she was like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me given like his similarity to another red-haired sad boy that you love. And I was like, yeah, no, so now I'm just gonna insert one into every book.
It's perfect. I love it. So do you have a favorite quote from Children of O'Hare?
Yeah. Well, it's so hard for me to remember anything that I write ever, but this one sticks out to me because I've always liked it, and also I used it the other day for something in the writing group. So, so after the sex scene with Shay and Asher, there's a moment where Shay shows his insecurities, and then Asher has to reassure him that he does love him. So he says, must I keep reminding you over and over until you're absolutely sick of hearing it? Because I will. I will tell you every day, every hour if you wish, for the rest of my life that I love you. I love you, and nothing is ever going to change that. I will find ways to show you until you're so sick of my constant reminders that you throttle me in my sleep.
I love that. I love how sweet it is, but it's also like it ends on like a funny note. Like it's good. It's like a perfect blend of like sentiment, like not sentimental, like sensual and like humorous. So
Yeah.
great blend. Great blend.
They're cute. It's fine.
They're adorable together. And I think one of my favorite things is like how Cora is just like, like they're so cute, but just like really like stop being cute. Like,
yeah, in the scene before that, she like gets so sick of seeing them being all coupley because like, not a spoiler because it's explained right in the first chapter, but like her boyfriend died before she got there, and so and it's very fresh. It's like a few weeks before that, and so like she's still grieving him, and then like she sees them being all cute and coupley, and she like cannot handle it. She's like, because of course it hurts, when you see other people, like if you break up with someone or whatever, somebody dies, and you see other people with somebody that you like similar to what you just lost, like, man, that sucks. That like hurts. So yeah, Cora has a lot of anger issues when it comes to Asher and just the world in general. It's been really fun writing an angry character because I usually don't have those.
I feel like she's so well done because I relate to her so well because she's hurting and she's lashing out and she's really well done because there's a lot of times where I feel like where it can so easily with a character like that become somebody who's obnoxious.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, like you're angry again. But she's hurting so much. And I really love how well you've written her with making her feel so real. I think that's what it is. She feels like a real person. And
well, thank you. That's like one of my biggest concerns with characters is making sure that they like aren't just that they do feel like they could be an actual person.
Yeah. Oh no, every single one of them are.
Well, good. I'm glad. That's a relief to hear that.
Yeah. So good job. You're doing amazing. So
thank you.
But I think we're all done with the questions for today. Again, thank you so much for being on. I loved chatting about Children of O'Hare. And I can't wait to see how it goes, like with the process. Okay, so really quick, what are you planning to do with Children of O'Hare? You're revising right now. What are your next plans?
So I'm like 3.2 chapters away from finishing this revision, and then I just need to I'm gonna let it sit for a couple of weeks and then line edit it. And go cut it a little bit because of course it's long because can't help herself. And then I'm planning to start querying it by September. Awesome. Along with the first Honorians book, which is tentatively titled A Compass in the Shadows, which is currently being line edited by my friend. So then I'm going to be querying 2 books at once, which is going to be terrible, and hopefully also give me a chance of being picked up even more.
Yes. I know.
To be honest, like the Children of O'Hare and started out as kind of a backup because like A Compass in the Shadows is almost 200,000 words, which I know is not exactly a benefit for a debut author.
Mm-hmm.
So the Children of O'Hare is a much more reasonable, like 110-ish, which is more, I know that much at least. So I figure if I throw both out there, then hopefully it will bring me back something. And then if somebody wants to publish one, they'll also be like, yes, here, let me publish the other one too.
Yes.
So fingers crossed. But my plan is to start querying both in September-ish.
Awesome. Well, that's super exciting, and I wish you all the luck with that. I know that you're going to do amazing.
Thanks.
So, but thank you again for being on. I love chatting. And you guys, thanks for watching. This was